Alright, so this is a darkness test in my living room. Now this is the Olight Mini Perun 2 on low mode, or Firefly, Moonlight. And as you can see, or if you can see, you can do alright. You can make out, you can see stuff. Alright, next one up is low mode. Quite a bit more detail available. Sorry, I was shadowing the light through the camera there. The next one is medium. Pretty good amount of light. You can see a little spot right up there. I mean, it's got a pretty good wide flood behind it. All right, then this is high. Really lights up the area. I have the headlamp on my head and the beam aiming straight. So you can see it does pretty good. And then if you go to turbo, which is double click, it really boosts it up. You know, it's like flooding it out and everything. All right. All right, now we've got the Thrunite. Let me put it on Firefly. You press and hold the same way. You might not be able to see anything. There you go. You can see a little bit. It is a lot lower lumens. We'll get the specifications here in a little bit, but it's a lot lower lumens than the low mode or the Moonlight in I don't know if I did Moonlight in the Olight. All right, well, let's go ahead to the next mode. That's low. You can see it's more of a flood type of beam. There's no real center there, but you get a decent amount of light. Let's go up to medium. This is what I usually run it on, because look at that. You get pretty good flood. It has a little bit of there is no real like center, central. All right, the next one up is high. Whoops. Well, low, medium, high. I don't know if we got those. Sorry, I might have to do this one over again because I screwed up, I think. That's low. That's off. That's medium. And that's high. Now let's go. Ooh, look, I'm off. Now let's go turbo. Wow. Turbo really lights up the place. Now this will only go turbo for about like 35 seconds, I think. And that's off. Let's go back to Firefly. You can see it just barely. I mean, it's good for up close. Like, your hand. You can see what you need to see up close. And it won't wash out your, vision. Won't wake up anybody if they were sleeping. Low's still pretty good. You can see quite a bit with low. Let's go up to medium. I think I just jumped to high. Well, let's try again. Yeah, I kind of skipped. There's low, medium, and high. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry about that. I'm not an expert on this. All right, if you double click, let's see, it's turbo. If you do it 3 times, let's see, 1, 2, 3, you get your SOS. All right. Now the difference is Olight has a red light, and I didn't show you all the stuff with Olight, so let me do that. All right, nothing right now. Let me double click. And there's your Olight red light mode. Now you really can't change the lumens on it. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little ring-like spot. It's running off of 2 LEDs. Now, if you wear glasses or anything, this spills quite quite a bit down. It doesn't get into your eyes, but it gets close there. It's a pretty good one from that. All right, if you press and hold, you'll get the red SOS. Now, my thought is that I like the Thrunite's white SOS, because when you're doing SOS, you want people to see you. Now, red light means emergency, you know, but red light doesn't carry as far at night as a white light does. So that's my only criticism of that. But it really comes in handy having a red light mode, because it does a very good job of flooding. You can see flooding the whole area, and not a lot of spotlight stuff going on. That's a TV that's off up there that's giving you that glare. But you can make out everything pretty well, and it's pretty high. We'll have to look at the specifications, but it does pretty good. All right, hello and welcome to my channel. Now, normally I don't do a whole bunch of flashlights and stuff like that, but I've been starting to get into them more, and I'm not, I can give you a review of flashlights, but I've got some beam shots that I'll put on the. It's not from outside, it's just in my living room, but it'll kind of give you an idea, because I use these a lot. I use headlamps a lot. I've found out it's excellent. It's great to have even in daylight in the house, because like sharpening a knife, a lot of times the light is not bright enough. And if you're actually sharpening the knife, you want to see where your bevel is. If you've got a headlamp on your head, all you do is just push the button and boom, you've got a light. Now, this is the Olight and this is the Thrunite. The Thrunite Junior, they call it, H01. Right off the bat, the main difference between these two lights is this one was $23 and this one was $64 on sale. So there's a huge difference in price, and we'll go through the differences in them and everything. I'm not sponsored by Olight or Thrunite. I bought both of these on my own. So not that that's going to have a whole lot to do with it in anything, but the packaging, of course, considering that this is almost 3 times the cost of this one. So the packaging on Olight is excellent. You get a picture of the product and everything. Here are your run times and everything. You can look at that, and I did it's alright, so that's why it was so bright. The red light is pretty bright at night. It does a really good flood and everything, but it's 40 lumens. So you get 150 minutes out of that. Moonlight is 2 lumens. You can go with that with 10 days. Low is 15 lumens, 26 hours. Medium is 60 lumens, 7 hours. That's the one I run most of the time. I hardly ever use high or turbo, but they're both here. High is 250 lumens for 100 minutes. And turbo is 1,100 lumens. And then it steps down to 250 lumens. It does that one for 2 minutes, and then this one for 85 minutes. So that's what you've got on that. Now the Thrunite, it's got its little instruction manual over here, but it's got its run times over here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Right there. So, the Thrunite I've got is in cool white. I would have got it in neutral white, but it wasn't available when I looked at it. I've converted these stuff because in mathematics, you're never supposed to like switch around. If you go from minutes to hours and everything in an equation, you're screwing up. But since they did it in minutes, I just converted it. So your turbo is the same as the Olight. It'll go for 2 minutes. And then it goes 85 minutes or 1.2 hours on turbo. So they're exactly the same on that. 250 lumens for 100 minutes, same again. 60 lumens for 7 hours, same again. Low of 15 lumens, 26 hours, same again. Moonlight, 2 lemons, 10 days, same again. This one does not have a red light. The Thrunite does not have a red light. So you lose that capability with that. Now, the box, with Olight, I'm doing unboxing and everything, but it came with the magnetic base charging. This one is magnetic base also, but your charging is through a little port here. It's not a USB-C, it's a micro USB, but they provide the cable with you. This is my first light with a rubber dongle thing on it, and you got to make sure you push it all the way in. Now, Thrunite comes with, a little box that, like I said, it's just basic. They're not spending a lot of money on that. This is just really to contain the product. Let me get it open here. But it also comes with two extra little rubber caps there, and some O-rings. I'd like to see Olight, since they're more expensive, include O-rings with their flashlights, because they use O-rings in them, and it wouldn't cost them that much extra to do it, since they are 3 times the price of this one. Now, this one comes with a pocket clip, but you can't have the pocket clip on it when you're wearing it in the headlamp. So I found I just thread this on there so I won't lose it, because otherwise I'm going to lose that pocket clip and this magnet, kind of like, if it gets close enough to it, it'll attach to that. I guess you could put the clip on the magnet, just attach it there when you're running it. But it's pretty tight in this. You can move it back and forth. I'd tighten this down extra tight, because you might unscrew your light if you're adjusting it. But a lot of times, once you've got your angle fixed, you don't have to adjust that a whole lot. When this one's on, it has a little light indicator up there of battery capacity. And this is also, when it's charging, it's red, and when it's fully charged, it turns blue. Olight uses a temporary one. It's green right now. Well, not temporary. It shows it. Yeah, there it goes. It went off. It shows that I like this setup better, because I don't need this on the whole time. I don't know if this goes on. I don't think it does. I've sat here and watched it, and I think it stays on the whole time. To me, that's just another. It may be minute, but that's just another battery drain that you don't really need. It seems not to affect it, because the run times are the same according to the specifications. On Olight right here, this is the way the strap was made to attach. And if you look at it, the light can flop around. The good thing about the Olight is you can keep the clip on. You don't have to take it off. So kudos on Olight for that. The area for improvement right here is this. This is not tight enough. Now, originally they were going to include a magnet back here to help hold it. I think that would have been a good idea to keep going with, but they didn't do it. And with this right here, like I said, it's pretty loose. And when you got it on your head, you go to push. You got to hold it to push to turn on the light. And with this sliding around, it's usually no good. So I pull this down all the way down here. It makes it much more secure. The only problem is, if you've got this close to your head, you might see this in your vision, your peripheral vision, because it does come down. This is a very comfortable headband right here. It's stretchy, and it's about 1 inch wide. This one's a little bit smaller. It's also stretchy. It just seems to be a little bit thinner material, but it's no problem. I've worn both of these on my head, and these are, like Olight uses a proprietary battery. So if this one runs down, unless you've got another Olight or charging, you're down. You're down for the count until you can get another battery. Because see, it has the positive and the negative poles on one end. And that's what, usually, this one may run a CR123, because if the head touches to the negative on the light, you can just drop another battery in there. You won't be able to charge it magnetically. I'll have to test that. I don't have a regular CR123. Thrunite, you know, of course, they have their rechargeable in there. It's also a 650 milliamp, 3.7, 2.4 watt. And I didn't show you all that other stuff on Olight, but they're basically the same. This one, the head goes up. Positive goes up. You can get this in green and black. I just like the orange, so I got that. Like I said, I like this. It's a dual position clip. What's odd about this one is the clip position. Well, let me get this. Let me pause. I had to pause that while I struggle. All right, if you put the clip on like this is the way it is. Look at that. You won't be able to base stand it. All right. If you put the clip like this, it's just odd for pocket carry for me. You know, I mean, it's just in an odd position, because then you have to use this. Let's see, if you want to use it like a regular right angle light and you want to clip it to your pocket, you have to use this part. It'll still like I said, it is magnetic base, so you can right angle, you know, stick it to something. Again, this is just minor differences. Basically, your clip is going to be kind of an issue if you're running it in the headband, or where you're going to put it. Like I said, I usually just slide it in over here. I tried it on the back of the thing right here, but if you push your head back on a seat cushion, you'll feel it kind of like digging into you a little bit sometimes. So it's just a personal preference what you want to do with that. Me, I lose things, so I'd like to keep them together. And getting this thing in it's pretty tight, and it fits in those two little channels right here. So you basically it's harder to get this thing in the headlamp. You can do the Olight one, take it off, put it on without taking this whole thing off. You're probably going to have to take the thing off to get it in there, and get it like that. See, then it stops on this one. You got to run past, get over there, boom, you're in. And you're in. Maybe if you practice with it, you could do that, you know, without any issues. I tend to run the orientation of the light down. You see how this can unscrew? So that's what I mean. If you don't tighten this head up real tight, if you're going to adjust this, just go a little bit slower. You know, just make sure it's tight when you put it on. And this is pushed in. Yeah, I'd say it's personal preference for you. You know, which one would you like? It's up to you. There are advantages to having the red light mode, and is it worth the extra money? Well, that's just up to you. Both of these lights, to me, so far, I have no complaints with either one. This one, like I said, is a little bit more floody. This one has a kind of a more spot. I tend to like this than a regular generalized all-around flood. You can see that this is like a TIR lens. It's total internal reflection, I believe, is what that stands for. And this one has more of a faceted lens to it, which will give you more of a overall flood type of experience. They're both excellent lights. They both come in very handy. Like I said, if you're even if you're in a house that has lights around you and everything, there's a lot of dark spots and everything. Usually what I would do is reach for one of my other lights that I've got in my pocket. Now all I got to do is reach up on my head and push, and I've got a beam aimed at it, directed where I'm looking. And when I'm finished, I turn it off. So without a power outage situation, or a general house or a camp, a headlamp is the way to go. It leaves both your hands free to do whatever you need to do, and you don't have to worry about positioning a light somewhere and then turning it off and leaving it there. These are just the way to go. I mean, it's really an excellent thing. If you've never tried a headlamp, or you haven't tried one recently, I can recommend either one of these. It just depends on what you want and how much money you've got. And if you're in doubt like I was, get both, mainly because this one's orange. That's, you know, so out for $23 on orange, and it's a headlamp. Oh man, I couldn't pass that up. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.